Hi fellow readers, today I'm going to talk about the series that I would call like Oliver Twist with a twist, because it's really about like a psycho killer, and it's from the Red Fog. I remember getting this series because I saw that artwork and like you got this guy in there, this bloody knife, like it just looked dark and intriguing. And again, I run the gambit of like ultra cute, fluffy, sweet looking things that are pink and vibrant with candy and rainbows and sprinkles, to like dark, bloody gore. I don't know. It intrigues me a lot. So I will read the back of volume 1. This is by Mosoe Nohara. I know sometimes I forget to say the author and illustrator, and I feel really bad, but I always include it in the title, so we're good. This is born in darkness. A young boy steps into the light. Raised in a cellar, steeped in solitude, his entrance into English society at the turn of the 19th century is anything but painless. From place to place he journeys, seeking companions who share his unusual interests. But always, always a red fog follows, consuming everything in its path. Which sounds kind of, I don't know, that sounds much more poetic than it is, because yeah, our main character, Rwanda, can somebody explain if that's like a normal name? I don't think I've ever heard that as like a normal kid name, but especially in England, like I'm so used to like Edward and James and John and Richard and, you know, William, all like the traditional English names, and it's like Rwanda. He had a really dark past and upbringing. So he was like locked in a cellar, and his mother, if I'm not mistaken, his mother was a killer. So I guess you learn what you see, but she kept him locked away and would like send like people to take care of him. Only many times he would snap and take care of the people who came to take care of him. But the mother was kind of proud of him for doing that. Then one day, I don't remember entirely what happens. I thought they think the mother's dead? Question mark. I can't remember if we actually saw her dead or if that just became a thing. Anyway, Rwanda ends up getting taken to an orphanage. So he gets pulled from the darkness into the light, suddenly in an orphanage, surrounded by all these other kids, with a kind orphanage master person, and promptly proceeds to kill like everybody in that orphanage. This is why I'm like, the Red Fog is like his desire to kill people, essentially. Like anybody that he doesn't feel lives up to his expectations, or he feels is in the way, or he just wants to kill. He kills. There is one character that does, at least one? There's at least one that does end up like escaping his death plans for them. So I'm intrigued to see that character come back. But in general, we do follow him like going into these situations, attempting to find friends, and usually either he ends up killing someone, or he did have like a potential friend that I think one of his caretakers ends up killing. There's just a lot of death and murder, and if you're not prepared for that, you probably shouldn't pick up this series. I think it's very intriguing. I like the historical setting. It's like an even darker Black Butler. That thus far there's no like demons or whatever, but it's like, you know, that whole historical time period, the artwork, and with this one, it's like, here's a psycho killer main character. He does, by the end of this part, because I've only read the first 2 volumes, I think that was all that was out. Don't know if volume 3 is out yet. But he does end up in like this gang, which is kind of also why I compare it to Oliver Twist, because he ends up getting taken in by this gang who say like, yeah, you'll be allowed to kill people, but you have to do it on our terms, not your terms, but like, yeah, they're raising like this gang of kids who can go out and kill and steal and do whatever they want them to. I think it's mostly killing, but regardless, I think it's mostly assassination. Because he really wanted to kill this, well, still wants to kill this other character. But they're like, no, you're not allowed to kill them. That's the one thing you can't do. You can't just go off on your own and kill whomever you want anymore. You're going to be with our gang. You got to kill the people who we tell you to kill. And he really hates that. He hates that he's being controlled, but doesn't have much choice. And I don't know. I'm intrigued enough by that to see like where this is going. So now he's in his own kind of version of Fagин's gang. He's an orphan with a murderous purpose. And I can't wait to see how he changes and develops, because every once in a while, as he's talking and interacting with people, he remembers the words of the orphanage master whom he killed, who had basically said, like, you can, you know, lead a happier life and you can have friends and everything. Like, you deserve good treatment. But it doesn't seem to, at this point, impact his like desire to kill everybody around him. So I don't know. I'm intrigued enough to keep up with this and see what's going to happen and how the character evolves. If the character stays kind of a psycho killer, I'm okay with that as long as it's well done. So I don't know. I'm intrigued enough. I kind of want to see if he ends up like taking over the gang. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. So I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to keep reading it. And I think if you enjoy like dark, psychological, violent works, From the Red Fog might be one that you want to check out. I've had a good time with it. It does have beautiful artwork, an interesting premise, because how often do we follow a character like this? And yeah, I'm intrigued. I want to see how far this goes. I want to see what happens with the girl who is also a bit murderous, that has survived attempted murder. Like, how does she come back? How do they interact? What's happening? I want to know. I want to know all the things. So I'll keep reading. If something big happens, maybe I'll come back and review more into it, or at least talk about it as I purchase the other volumes. But that's it for this video. Until next time.